Welcome to the Aviation Insurance Podcast, the podcast that helps aircraft owners and aviation businesses learn and understand the complex world of aviation insurance and risk management. From the basic principles of aviation insurance to risk management techniques and updates on the aviation insurance market, the Aviation Insurance Podcast is your guide to traverse the world of aviation insurance. Now, here's your host, Tim Bonnell.
Well, welcome to the Aviation Insurance Podcast, where we talk a lot about insurance, risk management, and just in general, the business of aviation insurance. And today, I want to talk about a very special topic. And when we talk to our customers, particularly the aviation businesses we work with, one of the biggest challenges they seem to face is hiring quality talent that's affordable. Now, obviously, there are hiring challenges for pilots, and that's one issue, and that's a challenge to face. And then there's just hiring people who can do the work they need them to do, to process information, to do bookkeeping, to be an executive assistant. And so that's something that my team at Aris, that we've been actually winning at for the last several years and continuing to improve on. And so I wanted to just talk about what it's like to use executive assistants and back office team members based remotely, in our case, the Philippines, and what that looks like. And so today, I'm just very honored to invite two very special people to me, and that's two of my team members, Nick and Jolina. And so today, I just want to ask them a few questions to hear what it's like to provide high caliber talent, and to do so while working in my time zone, and to really work with a challenging personality like myself with a busy schedule, and to make it all happen, and to produce podcasts and marketing and all these things, and to tell you how we've been able to do that. Now, I'll tell you that because of the cost of living in the Philippines, I'm able to get these high quality people and to have them on our team at a really affordable price. So that's a win for the business. But not only that, we're paying them very well for where they're at, and they get to make a nice income, and that makes an impact on their families and all the people they impact. So it's a win-win situation. Now, one of the things that I would start with is that we have worked over the last several years developing best practices, systems, and processes in order to make this success possible. And it's turned out to be a very big blessing to me, our entire company, and whether they know it or not, our customers, because we have several team members supporting our U.S.-based employees in several capacities, and it's been a game changer. We couldn't do today what we're doing without their help, from recording this podcast to producing it, to getting all of our emails responded to making sure we're putting out quality information and processing all the various things we do to have to process each and every day and each and every week as we serve our customers. And so this is a big issue in businesses, certainly in aviation today. And since it's something that's one of the areas we've really been winning at, I wanted to bring this topic to you. And it's something we're passionate about and something we're spending a lot of time on. And I'll get into that a little bit soon. But people need high caliber, high quality team members to serve their businesses in different capacities. And so this has been a great solution for us. Not one that I sought out. Actually, it was one that was offered to me, and it's been an extreme blessing and success to our organization. And so, without further ado, I want to introduce to you two of my team members, Nick and Jolina, and I'm going to ask them some questions today about what it's like to be a virtual assistant, executive assistant, or working in kind of a back office processing role as they do each and every day. And just a couple things as we get ready to do that is, number one, Nick and Jolina are working my time zone right now. I'm in the central time zone, and they're working my hours. You'll see they speak good English, and they're very used to working with U.S. companies, as is so many people in the Philippines. So, I know there's a lot of these hesitations with a lot of businesses, and, from my experience, they're not a challenge. And so they're just, these folks are not, I would say they're just like any other employee we have, but they're as good or better than any employee we have. And so that's how I look at it and see it. And so it's exciting to have them here to be able to participate in this way. So I'd like to start with Nick. Nick was actually the first of my current team members to serve in this role, initially as my executive assistant. We used to use the word virtual assistant back in the day. And, I know as we got started, Nick, I was nervous about, will I have enough time, enough tasks for this assistant to fill a full-time role? And, what will that look like? And, what would be effective? What would be able to communicate? And so, that was 4+ years ago. And so we've been on a journey for a while. So I wanted to start with you and just asking a little bit about, that path of the last 4 years. So could you describe the path that led you from your previous job to one as a virtual assistant and to now your current role?
Yeah, by the way, thank you so much for inviting me on this podcast, Tim. So it's a great opportunity and an honor to be on this podcast. So to your question, my journey from a call center role to becoming an executive assistant and eventually the operations and technology lead of Aries is a story of transformation driven by curiosity and the pursuit of personal um, personal and professional growth. Working in a call center industry for 5 years equipped me with strong foundation in communication, customer service, and the ability to navigate challenging situations. Despite gaining valuable skills and experiences, I found myself yearning for change, a role that offered flexibility, new challenges, and the opportunity to work from home closer to my loved ones. So, drawn to the flexibility and variety offered by the virtual assistants, I saw it as a perfect opportunity to apply my skills and embrace new learning experiences. Yet the thought of moving from a stable job to an uncertain field filled me with apprehension. My fears about job security, venturing into the unknown, delayed my decision to transition. The turning point came when I encountered an opportunity to talk to you, Tim, who was seeking an executive assistant 4 years ago. This moment felt like the universe aligning with my desires. Despite apprehensions about leaving my comfort zone, the potential for growth, learning, and fulfilling my aspirations in this new role was too compelling to pass up. I accepted the offer, embracing the uncertainties with optimism and readiness to adapt, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So you've grown from executive assistant, doing calendars and managing some email and filling out forms and producing the podcast per my instructions and all the other social media channels to creating the way we do that and taking over so many different areas. And so when I was nervous with hiring, one executive assistant, now we have a bunch and looking for more because of the value it brings to us. So thinking about that journey, in what ways has your experience as a virtual assistant or a remote-based employee in the Philippines working with a U.S. company, how has that influenced your professional development and your personal life?
It has significantly influenced both my professional development and personal life in several profound ways. Professionally, the experience has immensely expanded my skill set and understanding of the global business practices working for an executive like you in the US. This role has honed my abilities in time management, problem solving, and digital literacy. Exposure to the dynamic and fast paced environment of a US based executive has also allowed me to cultivate strong work ethic and flexibility adapting quickly to changing priorities and tasks. On a personal level, working from home has afforded me a unique work-life balance. The flexibility of work from home means I can manage my schedule to spend more time with my family and pursue personal interests, leading to a healthier lifestyle for me. Culturally, it has been enriching to interact closely with someone from different background, our U.S. team members, and even our my colleagues here at AIRS working as virtual assistants as well. That's offered a broader perspective to work, life, and the world.
Yeah, let's not pretend that you're not working a lot of hours, because you do. You work a very full schedule. But before, if I'm right, you had about a 2 hour, 1.5, 2 hour bus ride to and from work. And that's really the game changer, is you're saving 3 to 4 hours a day not commuting. And so that's been able to keep you with your family and increase your quality of life. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just 2 hours, it's like more likely 4 hours, and you lose a lot of sleep along the way. So, um, working from home is really good benefit for me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's exciting. And you took on every month and year you took on increasing responsibilities and tasks, and we decided that you really needed to be freed up from helping to manage me and all the many different things I'm involved with. Obviously, trying to provide the highest levels of service to our customers, but also serving the industry. Managing all the things that have to happen. In insurance, there's 50 states you have to be licensed in to do business there. There's contracts with the insurance companies. There's developing your people, and so I find that any entrepreneur, any executive has to have an executive assistant, and that seems so foreign to so many people. It did to me. I'm like, I don't deserve an executive assistant. 4 years ago, to where I'm like, I can't exist without one now. I don't know what I was thinking. I was doing a bunch of things that kept me from doing what I needed to do to best serve our customers and our team. And so, having an executive assistant was a game changer. And fortunately, we found time to, find someone who did the things that I really needed an executive assistant to do better than what Nick did, because Nick was really, where he's at now with the IT and the operations and things like that is really in his wheelhouse. Whereas Jolina does a great job at working with me day in and day out, managing my calendar, staying calm under pressure, and making sure that I'm in alignment with the needs of our customers, the vision, mission, and values of our company, and all the things that are important to being an executive assistant. And Jolina's been with me now at least a couple of years, and so even her role has experienced development. She's more than executive assistant. She's my strategic partner in executing all the things I need to execute. So, but we'll go with the term executive assistant for the moment, because that's what most people use. Some people will use strategic assistant, virtual assistant, but for the sake of this conversation, we'll go with executive assistant. So, just to help people gain a little bit of clarity on what an executive assistant is, could you provide some insight or further information into the responsibilities and duties of an executive assistant, Jolina?
Well, for me, Tim, being an executive assistant is like being a silent partner to your executive. For me, this role is not just about handling tasks or their schedules. It's actually more than that. It's like being the reliable support that your executive can always count on. So you're the go-to person who really makes sure that your executive focus on the big picture thinking and innovation, because you're there to manage the details, whether it's big or small. And so we executive assistants, we manage their emails, we organize their schedules, we schedule their meetings, we plan their trips, and we sometimes even answer emails for them. But this role is not just about calendars or emails. Executive assistants also keep an eye on different projects to make sure that everything's moving along as it should. This way, our executive doesn't have to do that on his own. I know it is really time consuming, and we don't want them to do that one. And what's really rewarding about this role is that really the trust that you build with your executive. You're not just there anticipating their needs, but you're really there to make sure that everything runs smoothly every day. So you provide that steady presence to your executive, the one who's always there, ready to support and guide. So for me, being an executive assistant is like being the behind the scene hero to your executive, making sure that he really achieved Graceland's. And so for me, this job is really rewarding, honestly, to see your executive achieve his goals.
Yeah, and we've had the conversation, our entire team, and certainly Nick and Jolina and I, that the executive assistant can be one of the most influential roles in an organization, because there are so many hats that an executive that they wear. Going through various areas of the organization and having someone to help maintain focus and keep track of those responsibilities is so important. So you've kind of touched on a few points already, but just specifically, Jolina, why do you believe every executive could benefit from having an executive assistant?
Well, for me, I truly believe that every executive could use an executive assistant. Now, if we think about it, executives juggle a lot of responsibilities, like always trying to keep up both in their work and their personal lives. So that's where having an executive assistant comes into play, and it really makes a big difference. So it's like having a right-hand person who not only helps you keep your day running smoothly, but they're also there to make sure they catch problems before they even arise. So if you have an executive assistant, or let's say if executives have their own executive assistant, so they can remain focused on what really matters for the business. So for me, executive assistant not only make their executives' job easier, but they're there to make them more effective at what they do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So in what manner do executive assistants, or virtual assistants as we call them, play a pivotal role in the advancement and success of a business?
Well, I think of executive assistants, or let's say virtual assistants, like a secret sauce to a business success. It means that they're always in the background, like making sure that their leaders or their entrepreneurs can really focus on what they do best. Like they anticipate needs, they solve problems before they even arise, and they make sure to keep the operation smooth and efficient. This way, we allow our leaders to really focus on driving the business forward, innovating, and making the business more effective. So if you ask me about this role, I'd say this role is absolutely fundamental to the executive's life. Like they're the people who really amplify the leader's ability to succeed more and make the business even more effective. So it's actually a role that's not always in the spotlight, Tim, but I believe that this role really definitely helps the leaders like really shine the most.
Yes, well, I agree. It's not in the spotlight publicly, but certainly within the team, I would say that's not the case because a lot of, at least in our organization, a lot of times people are going to go to my executive assistant, as we'll call her today, Jolina, to get answers and things because they know they'll get her quicker and they'll probably get a better detailed answer. And that's the other thing we didn't talk about is a lot of times as busy executives or entrepreneurs, we'll go so fast jumping between things, we'll miss details. And both of you catch mistakes or things that I make. And so that's why it's been really important as we look to hire you and bring you on and onboarded you that we found just a right fit, that we don't want another Tim as we talk about, and everyone seems to agree on that. We want someone with the complementary skills. And so in conducting my role, Jolina has to have a lot of empowerment and to do those things, to really do her best. And so there's a saying out there that kind of goes, we have, an equal role in executing my job, but complementary skills. It takes two different types of personality. So I'm going fast and she's going to go a little bit slower. So you have to work to be patient with one another in order to be most effective, because that's what we need in order to succeed and win. And so that's why I'm extremely glad to have that ideal match in an executive assistant who complements my skills and ability with hers so that we're together most effective. So Nick, coming back to you, do you believe that the advancements in artificial intelligence and software applications have the potential to supplant or replace the role of remote or virtual assistants in the foreseeable future?
4 years ago when I started, this wasn't actually a part of the conversation, but recently AI has been really emerging. And while AI or artificial intelligence and software advancements are reshaping the landscape of remote work or virtual assistants by taking over repetitive tasks, they lack the emotional intelligence, creative problem solving, and nuanced understanding that human assistants can provide. The depth of empathy and ability to connect on a human level, along with the flexibility in unstructured situations, are areas where AI currently falls short on. Instead of viewing AI as a replacement, I think it's more practical to see it as a complementary tool that enhances efficiency and productivity, not just for your own role, but for the business itself. This collaboration between AI and humans is likely to redefine each roles, emphasizing the unique strengths each brings to the workplace, Tim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we are very proactive in using AI and making sure we're trying to find and identify the best technologies to leverage to serve our customers and in the best way possible. And just having used both sets of tools, even looking into the future, I definitely need a human presence to execute it. And it's not that AI will replace the need for executive assistance or backup, but it's those like yourselves, executive assistants and back office type workers and leaders who can able to use AI will help make their executives and their teams and their company's life so much better to serve their customers in a much better way and to ultimately lead to greater success in their organization. So I couldn't agree more. I see it the exact same way. And our team, you guys have walked alongside of me and being proactive, educating me, in fact, on AI tools that we could use to better serve our customers, to be more efficient and effective. And so without you, I would be behind the power curve in that area. Going back to Jolina, in your opinion, what attributes and skills are essential for an individual to excel as an executive assistant?
Um, well, for me, being a top-notch executive assistant isn't just about being good at organizing or handling emails. First off, you've got to have great organizational skills. That's a given. But what really sets you apart is your adaptability, like being able to switch gears from time to time and being able to like handle whatever comes your way with grace. And then we also have communication. Like communication is really very important because in this role, you often act as the eyes and ears of your executive. So knowing how to communicate effectively with tact and discretion is for me really very crucial. And then we also have being able to anticipate needs or problems before they even arise. I mentioned this one earlier, and having a solution ready to go. For me, that kind of proactive thinking is really invaluable to those executives. And aside from that, we also have emotional intelligence. Nick mentioned this one earlier. So for me, executive assistants should really portray a very high level of emotional intelligence. Like you know how to read the room, you understand your executive's needs, and then you manage relationship with grace and empathy. That really builds trust and respect with the people around you. And so for me, in order for you to really excel in this role, you really have to blend your hard skills with your soft skills in a way that really supports your executive and by extension the entire organization.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And a lot of times it is those small things you don't notice as an executive up front, but over time, what I've learned was the more I trusted, and got out of the way of my executive assistants or virtual team members, the more they shined and the better they showed they can do a lot of things better than me. And so a lot of times as a leader or an entrepreneur executive, we think we can do everything the best, we're better than everyone else, or that we need to be the ones doing everything. And when in fact, that's not the best thing for me and my quality of work and my quality of life. It's not the best thing for my team. It's also not the best thing for my customers. And so, so long as they, our team knows our vision, our values, our purpose, our core values, and they have the systems and processes and training and resources to do their jobs effectively, a lot of times, if you just let them do it, you're going to find that they can do it better than you. And that's been the case. I've always had the most amazement at what these folks can do when I just get out of the way and let them do their thing. And I know they appreciate that too. So I'll bring that back to Nick and say, what best practices would you recommend to both individuals aspiring to become virtual assistants or remote employees, and business leaders who are considering the integration of a virtual assistant into their operations?
For aspiring virtual assistants, Jolina touched on a bit of this a while ago. That would be to develop strong written and verbal communication alongside with emotional intelligence. Be clear, concise, and effective in your communication, especially in a remote setting, is essential in managing tasks and maintaining relationships. Another one for aspiring virtual assistants or remote assistants would be master the art of prioritizing and managing your time effectively and efficiently. Being organized and being able to handle multiple tasks effectively will set you apart in this field. Last thing would be stay updated with the latest digital tools, AI, software applications, and productivity platforms. The ability to quickly adapt to new technologies is key to providing valuable support. As for business leaders, I think it's to establish, I think I'm thinking of 2 points. That would be establish clear lines of communication, regular check-ins, and the use of project management tools can ensure alignment and smooth operations. Offer regular feedback as well as part of the communication and opportunities for professional growth. Recognizing achievements and providing constructive feedback can motivate and help retain top talents in your team. Second thing would be clearly outline the task, and expectations for the virtual assistant. A detailed job description or And objectives can prevent misunderstandings and enhance productivity. Also invest in onboarding, a great onboarding and training setup. Even experienced virtual assistants need time to understand your business unique aspects. A thorough onboarding process and ongoing training can maximize the effectiveness, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And the nice thing is once you get that first executive assistant, they can help you with this process. And the key is that someone is helping document all the processes and systems, and moving these things forward. At the same time, I would say, when you're looking to grow your team, it's just like any other role. Don't expect one person to wear every hat either. You can't wear all hats, and the more hats you have, your executive assistant or remote team member performing, the more challenging it'll be them to perform each of those hats or wear each of those hats to their finest. And so when hiring, get specific. Here's what set of tasks one person can most likely have and the biggest impact it could have. For me, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, a key executive, if you don't have an executive assistant, you're missing out. You're missing the boat and you're getting behind. And so to me, it's a requirement. And when you're freed up to do what you do best, your business grows. And so you don't have that, you're missing out. Then you can go from there. We realized that there was great opportunities. And so, the Philippines, particularly Cebu, is well known for, being a great back office service provider. They, people in the Philippines speak good English. They have a great work ethic, a good culture. They, obviously are flexible to work the time zone of their customers. They are well educated and professional, as you've seen here today. And given just the history of the Philippines, they had the occupation of the Spanish for a long time, and the U.S. Was based there for quite a while through World War II. There's just a lot of things in common from a business and cultural perspective with the U.S. There are some differences, and we learn, as Nick talked about, to appreciate and celebrate those differences, and are excited to learn about those differences. But we found that this has just been a fantastic arrangement for us, and I'm just grateful for Nick and Jolina coming on here today. This is something they don't usually do. They're usually in the background processing and making sure these things happen, from the scheduling and to me having all the correct information, to the production and the distribution and of all of the podcasts and materials we do. So I'm sure this was a challenge, but yet a great opportunity. So Nick and Jolina, thank you for taking the time and energy to come here today and share your knowledge and expertise with our listeners. And we're thankful for your time and efforts today.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us here, Tim.
So given all these things and knowing that our customers, our friends, our industry partners, and the people we influence and impact, they have this need for high caliber team members, and we've developed all these solutions. And so that's why together, these folks have helped me create Outreach Strategic Partners in order to help connect all of the people we serve, all the people we work with and influence, with the opportunity to engage with remote-based contract employees based in the Philippines, again, that are high caliber, that through the cost of living come at a great cost, work their time zone, that are well educated and can make a meaningful impact in their business, while that business makes a meaningful impact in that employee's life. And so we've developed all these systems and processes over the last few years. Again, the good, the bad, celebrating from the wins, correcting things what mistakes we've learned from. And we feel we've got a really good solution. I think Jolina used the term strategic sauce earlier, in order to provide the best possible outcome for any type of engagement. So Outreach Strategic Partners, we help people, identify their needs, recruit, onboard, provide training pathways and resource and, success strategies in order to engage with high quality, high caliber Philippine team members to help make their work lives better and to help serve their customers in a much higher quality and a much more efficient, effective fashion. So, Nick, what are a couple of ways that folks can reach AirReach strategic partners if they'd like to learn more or to take that first step in engaging their first team member?
That would be two options right now. That you can either call 844-204-7716 or visit our website at www.airreachpartners.com. That would be AEREACH partners.com.
Yeah, so a lot like Eris in our company name, but AirReach. So Eris is reaching across the globe to connect people and businesses with high caliber talent that'll change the face of their business, I promise, and will also make an impact in the lives of those people that they're engaging with and that they bring onto their team. Well, that's all for this episode. Join us again next time as we continue navigating the waypoints in aviation insurance. Until then, enjoy clear skies and unlimited visibility.
Thanks for listening to the Aviation Insurance Podcast. If you found this episode of value, please share it with someone who would benefit from this information. Don't forget to subscribe in your podcast player so you don't miss any new episodes and to help our show have more impact. This episode is brought to you by Eris Insurance Solutions, your flight plan for navigating the turbulence of aviation insurance. For more information, visit arisinsurance.com. That is www.aerisinsurance.com. Disclaimer. These episodes are for educational purposes only, and due to the changing regulatory and legal nature of the business, some information may change over time. Having a well-educated and experienced aviation insurance broker on your team is an absolute requirement to success in business and for managing your aircraft and aviation business risks.